Four in one.
We're in one. Yes.
4 awards.
Already starting, and I'm already looking like a fool. Um, that comes later. Anyway, a lot to talk about tonight. Thanks for everyone that joined us on our draft prediction podcast last night. Now we're gonna talk the guilds, and we, just like Ashley alluded to, we're gonna tie it up in one nice little package with everything in it, all of them. The Directors Guild, the Writers Guild, the Producers Guild, and yes, the Screen Actors Guild. So yes, just like all the acronyms tonight are going to be covered here on Popcast Network with, of course, our live chat for those of you that are here live. And for those of you in archive, that's what a comment section's for. Hi, everyone. My name is Owen. Joining me, as always, we have Ashley.
Yeah, I'll make my statement after the intros.
And also joining us, we have AJ.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday that I think this video is going to be significantly shorter and less eventful than it was last year.
Oh, yeah.
When we did this video last year, it was like 4 hours long because like 2.5 hours of that was spent talking about the changes they were making to the show and the categories they didn't want to show and that stupid Twitter contest or whatever. So yeah, I feel like this video is going to be about a quarter of the length of what our last one was.
And funny you say that because I'm sensing some deja vu because I just got finished watching bits and pieces of said video. So I could get an idea of how the show flowed last year. But I also did something that you would appreciate, AJ. I went back to the wonderful year of 2013 and I looked at my first Oscar predictions I ever did on camera when it was just me, close to the camera. And I didn't do that bad. Crazy.
So that would have been for 2012 season.
Yeah. That was my Argo Django Silver Linings playbook. That was back when I was watching everything, too. I mean, everything. That's back when we were watching everything. I do mean everything. Yeah, but I hate the word everything now for lots of reasons. And tonight will make me hate it even more. So, Ashley, it seems like you have a something you want to say?
Yeah, just thoughts out to James Flynn, one of the co-producers of Banshees of Inisherin, that suddenly passed away this weekend at
Good
the
Lord.
age of 57.
Come on, BAFTA.
I meant to bring it up yesterday, but turns out, I guess, more information maybe came out today, or more people paid attention to it because it wasn't a weekend at the same time as the Super Bowl. So
the only thing I can say about everything with that is the fact that I got to watch the Flash trailer and I got to see my Batman and yours in the same trailer, and it made me very happy.
Did we know that Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Michael Jordan shoe thing was being made?
Oh, Air?
Yeah.
No, I was not aware of it, actually.
I've been hearing about it for a little while. The thing that seemed to change was the fact that they were supposedly writing it, but some random dude has the sole writing credit now.
It's the guy that wrote it for The Blacklist about 12 years ago.
That's gonna be shit then.
Oh, dear God. AJ and the Blacklist, something you don't bring up.
The fact, though, that they're actually like acknowledging him as the writer despite having no other credits means they must be confident in it. You know, rather than just say directed by Affleck.
I was gonna say there's that theory, or there's the theory of they wanted their names taken off of it.
That makes more sense.
And then, of course, they're going to have the weird hybrid release because it's Warner Brothers internationally. It's technically an Amazon film, and it is going to spend like the usual sort of 2 months or whatever before it actually goes available as a free thing to watch on Amazon.
So before we get into our predictions, chat. Hi, friends. Go Paul Mescal, says Spencer Reed. It would be funny if Adam Sandler won. Well deserved. That man is funny. Yeah, we could talk about Sandler like all day long on this channel, and have with several videos that exist, several verses that exist. Josie says, yesterday I recorded a video giving romance movie recommendations for Valentine's Day. Huh. Very sweet of you, Josie. Tomorrow I may watch Three Colors Red because the main character's name is Valentine. Yeah, if I want to watch anything with a movie with someone named Valentine, I'm just going to watch Licorice Pizza again.
I would take Kingsman over Licorice Pizza.
For me, no.
Yes.
I was going to say, was Greg the Hammer Valentine in The Wrestler?
Drop the elbow. Drop the elbow. Rhythm and Blues Greg. Matt's not the only one that has one now. Brian has one too. So does everyone else that bought the package for 4. Anyway, so Brian says it goes DGA, PGA, SAG, and WGA. I'm just the host. I just go with what they say. So we'll get there when we get there. Spencer says, I predict a surprise of Brendan Gleeson winning SAG. I would love that greatly. I'm not predicting it, but I would love it. Banshees winning ensemble. Again, I would love that. Yo, Butler, actor and actress. Brian talking about the Oscar fan favorite contest, which we alluded to a little bit ago. Jody says, I do think Kwan is the most vulnerable at BAFTA, but I still think he will win there as of now. Pretty sure he's going to win SAG. And Brian mentioning Rihanna being pregnant. I don't watch stupid sports, so that stuff did not really go across my Twitter feed, but apparently it kind of came up there because everybody was talking about her Super Bowl halftime performance or something. I don't know. I have plausible deniability, Brian.
With Kwan being brought up, I will just say that, and I think I've alluded to this before.
Probably.
I feel like supporting actor is the only one that doesn't have another option. But actor, actress, and supporting actress are races.
I would really, really like there to be a race in supporting actor. This isn't the year for that. Like,
I'll say this. Before we started, I told you guys that I had made my decisions for most of them, but there were 3 that I'm just going to have to decide in real time while we're here.
Right.
Supporting actress is one of those. I genuinely don't know right now because I'm really not buying that this Bassett thing is going to go the whole way.
No.
Yeah.
Don't get into your speech yet. You know, we're going there. Don't worry. Real quick before we get gone, obviously the Moi winners were announced. Makeup and hair styling guild.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned that yesterday.
So Josie bringing up the answers here. Elvis winning for contemporary period of character was Gotta Take a Shot. Match with it. Special effects for The Whale. Contemporary hair for Black Panther. Character hairstyling for Elvis. It's weird the way he wrote this. What I find interesting here is The Whale was not nominated for makeup. Elvis won, and when Elvis was nominated, The Whale won. That's random. Slight DGA flashback here. 2003. I think that's the year of the day because I believe Josie did that yesterday for the BAFTAs. Brian Gordon, Tim Gibbons, Jonathan Harris for Curb. An episode called Special Selection, beating 2 episodes of Curb, an episode of Will and Grace and Sex and the City. Documentary, Tasha Oldham for The Smith Family over Leah Mahan for Sweet Old Song, POV. Rob Frutchman and Rebecca Kamsa for Sister Helen. Charles Braverman for Bottom of the Ninth, and Malcolm Clark and Stuart Sender for Prisoner of Paradise. Most of these were short documentaries. Only one nominated for the Oscars, Prisoner of Paradise. But of course, lost to Bowling for Columbine. Surprised Michael Moore was not nominated for DGA. That's very true. Bowling for Columbine's great. Say what you want about Michael Moore. That's an awesome documentary. I like his work. I don't care. For directing drama TV, the Whitecaps episode of The Sopranos won, defeating whoever did this episode of The Sopranos. Back to the Garden of 6 Feet Under, and 2 episodes of The West Wing. And Rob Marshall won for Chicago. Interesting how Peter Jackson nominated DJ and BAFTA for 2 Towers, but not the Oscar. And 1993 flashback, comedy directing The Contest, winning for Seinfeld. Being that Good Samaritan episode, the final episode, and the old-fashioned wedding episode of Cheers. Joe Berlinger for documentary and Bruce Sinofsky for Brothers Keeper, beating Rick Burns, American Experience, and Mark Stouffer for the Braving Alaska National Geographic special. Eastwood for Unforgiven, over James Ivory for Howard's End, Neil Jordan for The Crying Game. Oh, we'll get there soon. Real soon, about 4 weeks. Rob Reiner in A Few Good Men, and Robert Altman for The Player. We've already been there. All nominated but Reiner. Martin Brest took his slot for Son of a Woman. Well, of course. 10 years ago, we all know Affleck won the DGA for directing, but Rian Johnson won for a Breaking Bad episode called 51, beating 2 episodes of Homeland, an episode of Mad Men, an episode of Newsroom directed by Greg Mottola, and Inarritu winning DGA, which I looked at this earlier, directing a commercial 2 years before winning an Oscar for Birdman. May 2002, Bowling for Columbine became the first documentary to compete in Cannes in 46 years. And Josie loves the Matt and Trey bot in Bowling for Columbine, too. So, just like we did before, we're going to the individuals, and then we're going to finish with SAG. So, because SAG's the most important of the entire group. Just like BAFTA was the most important of the previous years we've done combination videos.
I mean, as far as importance goes in the race, that'd probably be... Well, no, it's just kind of the only one that's really not important is WGA. Because
Yeah.
so many are ineligible, but everything else could be telling.
All right. Do we want to start with WGA then?
Might as well.
Alrighty, let's go. And timestamp that now.
Alright.
We just do original and adapted for this, right?
I have documentary as well,
Documentary
but
as
I mean,
well, that's the only other one. Which is going to be extra interesting because everything that's in it isn't even in for the. Normally, there's at least one that's in here that's in the Oscars list. Except this time, no.
yes, we're doing documentary, adapted, and then original. The order that I have on Wiki.
All right. So for a documentary, we have Second Chance, Downfall, Last Flight Home, Moon Age Daydream, and Via Maestro. Well, I saw 2 of these, so that kind of makes me want to go towards those 2 because they were shortlisted at least. I guess Moon Age Daydream would be the high-profile choice. Like I was saying, the intimacy of Last Flight Home, I'm really surprised did not get recognition. So I'll just go with that, which means it's probably one of the other 3 I didn't consider.
What do you got, Ashley?
Which one are you going with then, AJ?
Last Flight Home.
Right. I'm gonna stick my flag for England with Moon Age Daydream. I think this might be the only one it gets a chance of winning.
I mean, Moon Age Daydream's the only one of these I saw. And I probably should go for it. But what AJ said about Last Flight Home kind of made me push that direction. And I'll shoot with you because I'm 100% honest at all times when it comes to this network. I kind of wobble a little bit when it comes to certain things, but in this case, I just did these about 25 minutes ago. I just finished up literally right as we were getting ready to start. Right as Ashley was calling, I was finishing up my last couple ones. So, yeah, I concur. Last flight home.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, shortly after I watched it, we were on the phone and I dictated essentially the whole movie to you.
Well, it's a short, so yeah, that makes, well, it's not a short, but I mean, it's a documentary, so I mean, it feels like that's something you easily can do.
Okay, so looking at original and adapted, I feel like I made my decisions in like 2 seconds. But WGA has been a little crazy
Yeah.
recently. So anything could happen, but I'm honest, I see no reason to not just go with the obvious choices here this time around.
Unfortunately.
So if crazy things happen, and that'll be fun, but I'm not gonna bet on it this time.
Yeah.
So do we start with adapted? Of course we do.
I'm gonna hate this video.
We have Black Panther, Glass Onion, She Said, Top Gun, and Women Talking.
So much missing.
Yeah, it's either the two that have been paired up this whole time with Women Talking and She Said, or the 3 sequels that are here. So as I was saying before, no idea what Black Panther's doing here.
Yep, doesn't belong.
This could honestly be a really awesome surprise for Glass Onion.
I would love Rian Johnson to win this.
Yes, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But it feels like the tide has shifted to where Women Talking is. It turns out Women Talking's always been the front runner. Just for a second there, it looked like it might not have been. So I totally could see a Glass Onion surprise happening. Like I said, with the curveballs the WGA has thrown recently.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way I'm not saying Women Talking right now.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm going with Women Talking. If it's strong enough that it can, only make it in that and picture for the Oscars. Bear in mind that, of course, screenplay is nominated on by the by screenwriters at the Oscars, and the fact that it's one of the few that's like carried over, really. I have to consider Women Talking.
I want Rian Johnson to win this. Honestly, I want She Said to win this. I really like to see Top Gun win this. Wakanda's not even in the conversation. But I'd be dumb not to go with Sarah Polley here. And I'm going to say a lot of things in this video that I do not agree with 100%. There's a lot of things I have to go with here because I'm going with intelligence instead of my heart. So I'm not going to make many gambles this video, so prepare for that. And I'm going to say something a lot that I don't want to talk about. But tide has shifted. And yeah, Women Talking is the winner here.
All right. So unless they go rogue as fuck like they did in 2018.
I would love that.
Remember in 2018 when the guilds just lost their minds?
Sometimes that's a good thing.
I was trying to remember what Don't Look Up's competition was last year. I want to say, was Licorice Pizza there?
Yeah, it definitely was.
I remember we were all shocked that Don't Look Up won.
Yes.
Guilds, WGA. So yeah, Don't Look Up won over Being the Ricardos, French Dispatch, King Richard, and Licorice Pizza.
All right. So here, if there is a surprise, I would say it would be Tar.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking.
But with our nominees being Tar and Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, The Menu, and Nope, I'm going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once pretty easily. Like, it seems like it's... Because it feels like it's Everything Everywhere All at Once and Banshee's fighting for this, and with Banshee's not being here, I feel like that seals it.
Ashley.
I decided to go with Tar because I'm honestly wondering if like the menu suddenly wins this from out of nowhere, but then that wouldn't make sense because you'd have thought then it would have carried over into the Oscars list.
Did Bo Burnham beat any Oscar nominees? I can't remember. I know A Quiet Place was there. I can't remember what the other three were.
Hang on. That'd be
That is not the year I would be talking about.
Season, right? Let me have a quick look.
Excuse me.
Was it? It was 2019, right? I think.
And for the 2018 season.
Okay. So it might be the year before.
And what I'll do is after we're done with WGA, DGA take a shot. After we're done with this set, I'll do chat, and then we'll go to the next set.
Quickly look. 2018. Guild. 8th grade beat Green Book, Quiet Place, Roma, and Vice.
Holy shit. Yeah. Those were nominees, to say the least.
I don't know why I said DGA. I'm an idiot.
Okay, so the menu and Peel can't be ruled out if Bo Burnham happened.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it just feels like Everything Everywhere All at Once and Tar are like bigger contenders than those were. I mean, when the ultimate winner was Green Book, as far as Oscar goes, and the favorite wasn't at WGA, it's, yeah.
I will go on record saying right now, I hate the guilds for making me do this. Very much so. In a right and just world, which we obviously don't live in, the Fablemans would win this. Or the menu. Oh God, give it to Jordan Peele. You know, at this point, I wouldn't even hate seeing Todd Field win this. But, like I said, this year is going to be a year that I'm going to have to say things I don't want to say. In a very robotic manner. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Garbage. Anyway, chat. Oh, my dad. Contrary to popular belief, Josie says, Trey Parker and Matt Stone had nothing to do with the animated section of Bowling for Columbine. Stone was enraged, believing Michael Moore had intentionally left the impression he and Parker made it. For that reason, Moore was portrayed in negative fashion in Team America. That makes sense. 2003, first documentary to be nominated and win a WGA for the screenplay. England used to have their own Writers Guild, the Writers Guild of Britain. Interesting, didn't know that. Keep 2003 alive of the hours for WGA, beating About a Boy, About Schmidt, About Adaptation, and About Chicago. Because that just makes sense. Bowling for Columbine won original, being Antoine Fisher, Far From Heaven, Gangs of New York, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Long-form television writing for Band of Brothers. WGA 1983 missing one adapted drama screenplay, beating Sophie's Choice, The Verdict, and Word According to Garp. Wow, we jumped around crazy. Victor Victoria won adapted comedy screenplay, beating Fast Times. Interesting. Tootsie won original comedy screenplay, beating Diner in My Favorite Year. Best original drama screenplay with E.T. over Shoot the Moon and Officer and a Gentleman. like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the menu won WGA because it's written by Succession writers. There's a lot of TV writers in WGA. Very true. Spencer Reed says the best makeup is awarded to Pearl by the Spencer Reed Awards Association. Same by the Josie DeMarco Awards Association, in addition to the Mia Goth Best Lead Actress.
As I say, is that Pearl the movie or Pearl the character for X?
Just said best makeup, so I'd say yes. ADG flashback for 20. Take a shot. 2003. Catch Me If You Can over contemporary production design beating Panic Room. 1 hour photo. The Hours and Born. Two Towers over period or fantasy film over Chicago Gangs. Minority Report and Road to Perdition. Josie says, I think Nope is going to age really well over time. I agree completely. Our Directors Guild didn't split it up. Period and fantasy sci-fi in 2003.
There is still a Writers Guild of Great Britain.
It's just not talked about.
It's really sort of, I mean, it's mainly sort of, I see online comedy, TV series, video game, radio. The only film wars they did, best screenplay went to Ben Power's Munich, The Edge of War, that Netflix film.
That's okay.
And first screenplay went to Rebecca Hall's Passing. I think they do it on calendar year, so a lot of the contenders that probably could be in won't show up until like they actually do the award ceremony next January. So
Josie's response to your question, AJ, I had awarded her for both X and Pearl jointly. PGA flashback for Chicago winning over Gangs Perdition adaptation. Greek Wedding, Two Towers. Road to Perdition wasn't nominated for adapted, but I think it would definitely have made it in a field of 10. Yeah, I could see that. And we are moving on to, are we going to DGA now?
I was going.
I would say so.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yep.
I was going to go in calendar sort of order, excluding SAG, but if you want to do DGA. DGA will be, I guess, one we'll comment on when we talk about the BAFTAs on Sunday, given that they're handing this out on Saturday.
Yes.
Are we starting with documentary?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've got.
All right. We've got five.
Actually, I'll take that back. I have first time feature. Did we not predict that?
It's documentary, then debut, then the main one.
Oh, okay. I have it in a different order. Go ahead.
We have Fire of Love, Retrograde, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Navalny, and All That Breathes. I've been waiting for Navalny to start taking over as the frontrunner, but here I'm going to say All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Okay. What do you got, Ashley?
I've gone with All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was either All That Breeze or Navalny.
I'm going Navalny. First time feature?
All right. We have St. Omer, Happening, Emily the Criminal, Marina, and After Sun. I suppose it could be anybody. They don't always go for the most obvious choice here.
Right.
But I am going to go with the most obvious choice, which is Charlotte Wells.
Ashley. Uh-oh. Stand up.
I don't need to stand up now. The lead's right here with the USB hub.
Nice.
As soon as I saw that issue, I was like, okay, we're moving it to here. Yeah, I'm sticking with Charlotte as well. There's a chance that St. Omer Happening could win. There, I think the dark horses, because they got a lot of positive talk about them themselves. But I think with After Sun sort of okay, it was only for an acting thing, but at least getting some Oscar recognition. I think, and it's obviously not the last time we'll probably see After Sun do well in directing, because it might do. I've tentatively got it down as it stands for doing the win at the Spirit.
I haven't even
It isn't
those.
at the Spirit. It's in Best First Feature. That's why I'm getting it confused, I think. So,
we'll predict the Spirit soon.
Yeah.
Couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Happening jumped out at me immediately when I first saw this. But I'm not going against Charlotte Wells.
All right, and our main group.
Yep.
I love this lineup.
For the most part, yeah.
We have. I don't know what the hell order these are in.
I mean, I've got an alphabetical.
Oh yeah. Okay, I guess it is alphabetical. It didn't look out. They're going alphabetical by Daniel Kwan. Okay, that threw me off. We have Todd Field for Tar, Joseph Kosinski for Top Gun, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh for Banshees, and Spielberg for The Fablemans. I really love this lineup, but my least favorite of the group, I am pretty sold on, and that's the Daniels. It took me a fraction of a second to think about this, and I feel good about it.
Ashley, what do you got?
I'm thinking the DGA are just gonna DGA and give it to Spielberg, because he made a film about filmmaking, so it's probably gonna resonate with them more.
Well, again, I'm very happy if you're right. I want McDonagh to win this. But, once again, Daniels. With the obligatory eye roll. Real quick, once more. PGA flashback from 1993. Crying Game beating A Few Good Men, Howard's End, Son of a Woman, and Unforgiven. 2003 flashback for SAG, Walking for Catch Me If You Can, beating Chris Cooper, Ed Harris, Alfred Molina, Dennis Quaid. Two of those were not nominated for the Oscar. Newman and John C. Reilly took those slots. I always use that Mr. Cellophane line, and I always will. Daniel Day won lead actor at SAG for Gangs. Catherine Zeta-Jones, supporting actress for Bates, Moore, and Pfeiffer. And Queen Latifah for Chicago. Pfeiffer was not nominated for the Oscar. All right. Oh, by the way, the reason why it was easier to go with the answer AJ went with that I don't want to talk about is the fact that from 2010 to 2021, the only time it has not matched the Oscar win was 2012 and 2019. So,
Yeah, fucking Mendes.
Yep. So that's why I'm like, well, odds aren't on my side.
It's fucking nuts how certain 1917 seemed at the time.
Well, it's crazy because we're about ready to go into our third set of predictions. We're going to the PGA now, and I don't mean golf.
And on the topic of 1917, as somebody that called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the best movie of that entire decade,
yes,
I can't imagine a world where Parasite isn't the picture winner anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's too perfect.
It's a great movie too.
All right, so PGA.
Yes.
Starting at documentary.
That is cool. Yeah. Yep. Correct.
We have All That Breathes, Descendant, Fire of Love, Navalny, Nothing Compares, Retrograde, and The Territory.
A lot of Oscar in here.
Yeah, and Mr. Supposed Frontrunner, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is not here. So is this where Navalny starts its climb? That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
But like I said about BAFTA, don't rule out Fire of Love. It's been very consistent throughout the season.
What do you got, Ashley?
The other one that's been consistent is my pick, and that's All That Breathes.
Oh, they may just look at it and see the word all and the letter B further down the letter and be like, hey, let's just go.
They're not that stupid yet.
Cool. Oh, yes, they are. Yeah, Navalny. Incidentally, Renee Zellweger beat Kidman at SAG. Ensemble for Chicago over Two Towers, Greek Wedding good Lord, adaptation in the hours. If it was a field of 10, I think Greek Wedding would have been nominated. Yeah, that's probably likely.
Yeah, it had the phenomenon status that would have gotten it there.
Dear God, that movie was like super over with everyone.
Yeah, I remember that so vividly. I can't believe it was over 20 years ago.
Weirdly enough, even though it's not the same type of movie at all, I guess you get the best comparison now to say it like a phenomenon for it's Everything Everywhere All at Once. Greek Wedding was that over, and it had nobody did like it.
I was just having a conversation with somebody like 2 weeks ago where we were talking about how people like to complain that Coda won picture because nobody's seen Coda.
I thought it was great.
But the thing about, well, number one, there's not a lot Coda can do because of fucking Apple.
Right.
It's the only fucking place you can go. Secondly, Will Smith overshadowed its picture win. Otherwise, it would have got more attention.
Agreed.
That's the thing is, when you heard about how it played at Sundance, which I believe was a virtual festival at the time, Coda got so screwed over because Coda could have been, if Coda had gotten an actual theatrical release and gotten to breathe, it could have been my Big Fat Greek Wedding phenomenon.
I 100% agree with that.
Like I feel like its picture win is going to age really well, even though people bitch about it right now because they don't know what it is.
Totally. I don't know. I honestly, anybody that's seen it, I don't know anybody that didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like everything else seems to have like detractors. Hi, I'm Owen, but Coda does not have anybody. Does not have anybody that doesn't like it.
I'm sure they're there. There's
got to be. It's the internet, but I mean,
there's always people with really miserable lives.
They're not vocal though. I hear a lot more people loving the movie. Speaking of loving the movie, let's go to animated now.
All right. For animated, we have Del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel, Minions for some reason, Puss in Boots, and Turning Red. Once again, like we were saying at BAFTA, I'm saying Pinocchio.
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Could be Marcel, and like we were talking about with BAFTA, I feel like Puss in Boots is not out of the question.
I think
Puss in Boots' reputation just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It's like it's ready to strike. Like it's waiting for the most opportune moment to do something. I don't know of how, but I have a feeling it's going to do okay in the Annies. I could see that.
It probably could have taken the Globe if this had happened even faster for it.
I could see that.
But yeah, I'm saying Pinocchio.
Ashley, do you concur?
Yeah, I think Pinocchio's gonna hold on for sort of the main guilds. There's a chance because of how it's gone that Puss in Boots might pick up some of the stuff with the Annies, which will then might give it enough momentum into the Oscars itself. But I'm gonna stick with Pinocchio on this one.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I feel like moving forward, the movie that wins animated is going to be something I'll never see because streaming. So unless you're going to give me a theatrical release of it when the movie wins, which that could happen. Doubtful, but it could happen. Yeah, Pinocchio. And real quick, I'm sure this will surprise absolutely no one who's been paying attention to our live chat for the last several months. Best Actress by the Spencer Reed Association Academy, Melanie Griffith for Pacific Heights. The Academy will continue to give this award every single year. So, Spencer Reed, you've created the new Frank Stallone joke for the Popcast Network? And we are moving on to picture.
All right. Our PGA lineup is Avatar, Banshees, Black Panther, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Glass Onion, Tar, Top Gun, and The Whale. Once again, I did this quite quickly. I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once has been our picture winner for a while, and even though we said that BAFTA would be a Banshees ceremony, this would be the propelling point for Everything Everywhere All at Once to start kind of dominating the season.
Unjustly. Ashley, go.
Yeah, I think this is also going to be probably Everything Everywhere's to lose, I would have thought.
I like I to take away the first words you said and say Everything Everywhere to lose. I like the way that sounds. But we don't live in that world.
My added fear is Avatar wins. And I'd prefer Everything Everywhere to win over Avatar. Because at least Everything Everywhere had an actual story. It may not have made that much sense, at least in Owen's opinion.
Okay, sure, Jan. Here's the thing. Now, are you laughing in silence, or did we lose the volume?
No,
just make sure. Okay, cool. You don't know nowadays. You just don't. PGA, my God, shake this up, please. I'm begging you at this point. As long as Wakanda Forever and Avatar don't win, I'm fine with anything else winning but Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about that.
No, they're deader than Kelsey's nuts, in this category especially. Now, props if you get the reference. I'd love Banshees to win this. I love the Fablemans to win this. There's a narrative with all the guild love Top Gun to win this. But, again, we don't live in a right and just world. So say it with me, friends. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Rolling eyes. Because there's only been 3 times, technically 2, because I don't count that third one, that this has not matched the Oscar winner. So, you just have to. Law of averages. We're actually at the 4th set of awards already. Oh my God. But first, Josie says if SAG had the acting awards back in 93, I wonder what the nominees for ensemble would have been. Spencer says a decent proposal. LOL. Good Lord. Probably not, but let's just say it did. Wasn't an Oscar juggernaut, but Local Hero would have made a great SAG ensemble nominee in 1983. Random comment, but justifiable. Let's go to SAG.
Are we just going to do both stunts?
Sure.
All right. Stunt ensemble for TV is And/or The Boys, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, and Stranger Things. We just randomly guess on these, right?
Yup.
Usually.
All right. I said The Rings of Power.
Ashley.
I decided to go with Stranger Things.
Well, we're gonna split the point because I went with House of the Dragon.
Those are the 3 that I think should be the contender. If Boys won it, I would be pleasantly surprised. If Andor won it, nobody won it, which would be extra weird.
I want to throw out there, my choice is also random because I don't watch any of these 5.
The only knowledge I have of these 5 are The House at Halloween Horror Nights and the Bill and Ted references of Actually, no. I'll take the Bill and Ted references of like the Game of Thrones style shows. So again, I don't watch Lord of the Rings, the video game. So, and we are going into stunt ensemble in a movie now.
Yeah, we might as well.
We have a little bit.
We have Avatar, the Batman, Black Panther, Top Gun, the Woman King. I'm saying Top Gun.
Okay.
With no real confidence.
I like you said that very quizzically. Like I could definitely see the question marks when you were like writing the word bubble. Ashley, what do you got?
I'm saying Top Gun Maverick because they're probably the most dangerous stunts.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Although I am also wondering, does that mean Tom Cruise accepts the award because he probably was his own stuntman for some of it? So
I'm sure he was. Clear. He's already made it well known he's his own stuntman most of the time. But I'd like to offer the option of the Batman as an upset here, or even the Woman King, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I also went with Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, because I can't imagine it being Avatar or Black Panther because all I see is people on wires in front of green screen.
Yep. When
I think about that, but I don't know the ins and outs or anything, but that's just what I visualize.
Before we move on to it looks like television. Josie says, I would like to see a SAG category for vocal ensemble.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say the Annies have a voice category, but it's very yeah.
Let's see. Outsiders could have been stunt ensemble in '83. Just finished reading it and loved it. And Brian mentioned Cruise broke his ankle during Fallout filming.
And they left it in the film.
Yep. Brian, you know what the third one that did match? It's the one that I'm not going to admit happened. So there you go. Do you even go here, sir? Ashley does. He just gets up and leaves. Anyway, we're getting a TV now.
I mean, are we waiting for Ashley's return, or are we going, or what?
Oh, we've got dead air, and I'm not dealing with that unless there's technical issues. So,
well, the category we're starting with, you've been talking this whole video about wanting to get things out of the way because it's something you don't want to say.
Yes.
And the category we're going to start with, as far as TV goes, is not going to go the way I would like it to. So, do we get that out of the way?
So we're going with drama now.
No, miniseries.
Oh, where the?
Remember, miniseries doesn't have an ensemble. It's just.
Oh, it's at the bottom of the screen. Okay, I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're on the Wikipedia page, it's all over the fucking place.
What's funny, the way that I did this, because you did both stunt ensembles at the same time. The last stunt ensemble for film, the next category is female actress in a limited series. So technically speaking, I'm already there anyway. It's perfect.
All right, I will just speak slowly until Ashley returns.
Shouldn't be long.
We're going to start with actress in a miniseries. It says miniseries or TV movie, but once again, as usual, I don't think any TV movies are here. It's all miniseries.
Yeah, who cares anyway? It's just wordy.
All right. We have my favorite actress in the entire world, Emily Blunt for the English, Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy, Julia Garner for Inventing Anna, Niecy Nash-Betts for Dahmer, and Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout. As I alluded to, my favorite actress in the world is here. Two people that I absolutely love with Chastain and Garner are here. And Garner seems like she could be a possibility. I suppose Chastain could always be like a possibility because obviously her peers love her.
Yeah.
Niecy Nash is here, but she's also, I believe, the only one that's supporting. So that's... yeah, that'd be rare. That's for the next category.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But somebody, I haven't seen The Dropout, by the way. But I do know that by far my least favorite actress in general in this category is Amanda Seyfried, who I'm just not a fan. Like it's not like, it's not like some, foaming at the mouth hatred or anything. I'm just not a Seyfried fan. And I'd say she's probably going to take this, so there's that. Yeah.
Ashley, what do you got?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Seyfried as well. The fact that she actually nails the dropping 2 octaves of the voice, to have a voice that you don't expect Amanda to have, but that's because Elizabeth Holmes's voice was purposefully lower than it should have been to make it just sound not natural. It's weird. I do think though it's a battle of the scammers. It's between Garner and Seyfried, I would say.
AJ, normally I have your back since you can't go with what you want to predict. But we're at the point in the competition that I can't stand to lose a point. So, yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible because SAG has been very good to her.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not betting against Seyfried, and it sounds like you're not either.
Oh God, no. But I've been a fan pretty much since the beginning. So, yeah, Seyfried.
All right, are we ready to finish out miniseries already?
We'll knock miniseries out and then we'll finish chat. Yep, go ahead.
All right, for actor in a miniseries, because TV movies don't exist.
Nope.
We have Steve Carell for The Patient, Taron Egerton for Blackbird, Sam Elliott for 1883, Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird, and Evan Peters for Dahmer. So it's down to the serial killers, right? I mean,
I don't watch TV, so I don't know.
I mean, Sam Elliott honestly jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, I wasn't even thinking about Evan Peters, but I just figure he would be the closest behind my choice.
Yeah, go for it.
We were just talking about how it seems pretty rare the way SAG combines the TV categories that a supporting performance beats out the leading performances. But from what I've seen of the show, which is the first 2 episodes, and just the way everything's gone to this point, and the word of mouth that you hear and all that, this is like another level. Like, this is like, it's interesting that Paul Walter Hauser has been in movies with very high-profile directors, and it seems like really, would we almost say this is like his breakout, maybe even more so than Richard Jewell?
This is huge. This is like his coming out party when it comes to being an actor right now.
Yeah, like he's for the short career that he's had so far, it's been pretty prolific already.
Totally.
But I feel like Blackbird is going to be a jumping off point for him to go to infinity and beyond.
Yes.
And you love to see it because he is incredible, and he seems like a very fun person too. And somebody who's very respected by his peers, which is another reason I would go for him here. So I'm saying Paul Walter Hauser.
Ashley, are we going with Hausen?
No. I think Evan's finally gonna get recognized.
All right.
Because he missed out last year for Mayor of Easttown when I thought he was gonna win. I think it'll probably just edge to that because, I mean, it's probably been overdue considering. I mean, he was nominated like at the Emmys for American Horror Story, but never really sort of by SAG. But that's because I don't think it's their thing. But true crime stuff usually is. Then again, of course, Blackbird.
Yeah.
Somewhat is. Or at least the Apple Blackbird. not the Blackbird that everybody needs to see, and I'm determined when it gets cheap, it's getting in movie club somehow. Dear God, mainly because I want to see it. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Evan Peters. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hauser did get it, with the momentum that he's mainly had.
So the question is, when Paul Walter Hauser wins this, is he going to keep his SAG award on Dynamite or Rampage?
No, Dark Elevation.
Oh, there you go. Oh, no, put it on Dark so I can get access to it. Because his Golden Globe is still being used in storyline in AEW right now. Great shoot. Being used as a weapon in AEW right now. There's a lot of great, talented people in this category. A lot of people are just going to job to Paul Walter Hauser, and life is good. Sorry, Eddie the Eagle.
All right. Are we going to do comedy?
Yeah, but first, I gotta make sure I catch up on chat. This is how I catch up on everything. The Big Chill could have got an ensemble in '83. Let's see.
That's like, yeah, that would have been like the dictionary definition of that.
Thornbirds for SAG. Thornbirds, one of my favorite novels of all time. There's a great TV miniseries adaptation. It won big at the Emmys, including Best Supporting Actress for Barbara Stanwyck. Brian says, of course, Richard Jewell, but Black Klansman, Da 5 Bloods, and your favorites, AJ, I, Tonya, and Cruella.
Yeah. I said it's his job to make Craig Gillespie movies watchable. So,
not an incorrect statement. Continue.
All right, comedy section.
I gotta find it. Yes, go ahead.
I too have to find it. Here it is. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting race.
I agree.
We have Christina Applegate for Dead to Me, Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which apparently had a season. Not that I would know.
Sure
Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Jenna Ortega for Wednesday, and Jean Smart for Hacks. So history would tell us, oh, Rachel Brosnahan easily, because she wins every fucking time, doesn't she? Or at least it feels like it. Maybe I'm having a false memory, but I feel like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel usually sweeps SAG whenever it's here. But she's the only one here. So that's interesting. Like, it's not no, it's not even an ensemble. It's almost like Rachel Brosnahan being here as a typo is what it looks like.
It's not the juggernaut that it used to be, we'll put it that way.
So typically we would say it would be down to Quinta Brunson and Jean Smart. But the question is, and I don't want it to sound insensitive by calling it a narrative, but something was said recently where Christina Applegate was being interviewed, and she said that this SAG ceremony will be her last award show as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to make it worth her while to show up? So it's really steep competition, but I went ahead and said Christina Applegate, assuming, yeah.
Ashley, what do you got?
Same here, because SAG doesn't usually nominate or vote on like maybe who was the best performance, but like who they like the most.
Yeah, it's popularity.
And I think as a sort of show of sort of respect and a nod to her career, given that she's gone into sort of enforced retirement, I think we might get an upset here.
As far as there being a bit of a silver lining, she has said that she still wants to do voice acting, which is cool.
Oh, okay. So we get her.
Hit the button.
There we go. It's moving.
Close enough. So
We can get her to replace Cameron Diaz in Shrek 5 if Cameron's retired again.
Can we get somebody to like do a Married with Children animated show, please? I would love to see that, and I think it would fit really well on Fox, or even Adult Swim potentially on Cartoon Network.
I was just sitting here thinking that family is already really animated as it is in live action.
Yeah, exactly. They pretty much already knocked it out. They just gotta animate the actual cells and make it not regular. You guys surprised me because it's like swore up and down that going Christine Applegate was going to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try Dark Horse, but nope. Everybody has my back. So yeah, Jenna Ortega, watch out for her. She is destined to win something. Not this season, but I feel next season is going to be when it breaks it down. I think Scream 6 is going to help, and I think the Wednesday Addams portrayal is going to help, and I think that she's going to win something this season.
I mean, she already had a banner year this year.
Yeah, but I feel like she's going to start winning things this time around. And I think it makes sense. And I'm convinced The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is nothing but a commercial. There's no TV show anymore. It's literally just a commercial of clips from previous seasons. And no one can tell me otherwise. Yeah, this is Christine Applegate's award to win. And she deserves it.
Okay, so the next one is one I haven't decided yet.
Cool.
Because it seems like there's an obvious option here, but
Where is it?
Yeah, because SAG does throw curveballs.
Yes.
The one that I always remember is when Sam Rockwell finally won for Fosse Verdon, and you could tell everybody in the room was surprised.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, totally.
I think Rockwell was the most surprised.
For sure.
Because here's the thing: is our lineup is Anthony Carrigan and Bill Hader for Barry, the Martins, Frolimers in the building, and Jeremy Allen White. So Jeremy Allen White's the obvious choice because he's won twice now, and the other two, like two shows are doubling up.
Good job.
Maybe this is my Barry bias. I don't know, but when we think about the way actors would react and curveballs that SAG would throw, I can honestly, genuinely see Anthony Carrigan winning this.
That's what I thought.
I can absolutely see that happening. And if I didn't go with that, I would just go with Jeremy Allen White to be lazy.
So you're going Carrigan.
Like I said, I haven't written anything down.
Oh, okay. This is one of.
Like I said, but I don't know if it's just my Barry bias because I've obviously been much higher on Barry than voting bodies have this season for some reason. So,
But here's my question to you, AJ. As a fan of the show, nominating Carrigan over Esposito, does that show that they treat Carrigan's performances better?
You mean Winkler?
Sure, tired.
You went to Better Call Saul.
I went to Better. Well, probably because I looked down and saw that. But yeah, Henry Winkler not getting nominated here. Does that say that they want to give props to Carrigan's performance here and
it's
Fonz out for a year?
Yeah, because it's one of those cases where it's like, I almost feel like he could win based on the fact that he's here at all.
That makes sense. I can see that.
But that's the case, though, is with Paul Walter Hauser, that would be the second time a supporting performance would win over leading ones, which would be very interesting.
Sure.
Because honestly, wouldn't you kind of like to see that happen more often? It's exciting.
Yeah, well, it's the Christoph Waltz syndrome.
Because the thing about Jeremy Allen White is that, yeah, he's won twice, but like we said, the credibility for Critics' Choice is out the window, especially when we know that they were still voting when the Globes happened. Like, it seems like they intentionally made their cutoff date just enough to where they could copy the Globes to get more, to seem more important than they are, which is their whole thing. Their whole reason for existing is to pretend they're more important than they are.
Right.
But then again, how many people get swept up in momentum? It's something that works.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't picked a supporting actress yet either, because momentum works.
See, it's not going to be the 4 hours to get us talking about a category that means nothing. It's going to be the 4 hours AJ trying to pick a winner for 3 awards.
It's me trying to decide if I'm biased towards Anthony Carrigan or not.
That's fair, 100%. Speaking of
fuck it. Fuck it. I'll say him. I'll do Anthony Carrigan. Let's do it.
All right. Ashley, what do you got? Oh, crap. There we go.
I'm making a change because I didn't realise. I'm saying Bill Hader because he's never actually won a SAG.
Nope.
That would be great too.
And I'm also going to say Bill Hader. And I didn't know any of that information until Ashley just brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be win-win for Hader because Hader cast him.
Mm-hmm.
And I could just imagine how fucking thrilled Hader would be if Anthony Carrigan won this.
While we're here, Josie brings up "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead." It's a classic. Yeah, it is. Love that movie. Diaz is actually filming a Netflix movie called Back in Action with Jamie Foxx. Okay. Says Brian.
Yeah.
Josie asked, sorry, AJ, what were you saying?
I was saying that I knew about that Netflix movie.
Josie also mentioned, do you think SAG will ever add supporting in television?
Probably eventually.
I think everything's fair game at this point.
If SAG's going to add a new category, the next one needs to be ensemble for a miniseries.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because obviously, I'm assuming what's holding them back is the inclusion of TV movies, but TV movies just don't fucking show up here.
What's TV? It's all about streaming now.
Yeah, like how TV movies at the Critics' Choice were like Fresh and Prey, and it's like I don't think of Fresh or Prey as TV movies. They're just movies to me.
Yeah, Prey was a theatrical release that I saw the poster for many times when I was walking around AMC. Josie asked, which movie directors would you like to see Anthony Carrigan work with?
I mean, all of them, really, but...
That's fair.
I'm trying to think of somebody more off the radar. Or not off the radar, but, like, unexpected.
Okay.
Because he gets hired a lot as, like, killers and, like, henchmen. But we obviously saw in this season of Barry, he can be really, really poignant and go to some really deep and dark places. I don't know. Well, I'd have to come back to that probably.
All right. Put a pin in that. And we move on to the next category.
Just worth noting, Hader lost both times he was nominated to Tony Shalhoub for Maisel. So the fact Shalhoub didn't make it, one less person to go up against.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about how rare it is for supporting performances to win over the leading ones. Fucking Shalhoub did it twice.
Yeah.
We doing comedy ensemble now?
Yeah. Also, to go back to what I was just saying, it's funny that I was talking about how Carrigan only gets hired as like killers and henchmen, but he can go to deep and dark places. Didn't even mention the fact that he's fucking hilarious. So yeah, any comedy director would work too.
Fair.
All right, I'm hoping this one's as easy as it seems, but I could definitely see a wrench being thrown into this.
Yeah.
For ensemble in a comedy series, we have Abbott Elementary, Barry, The Bear, Hacks, and Only Murders in the Building. The ones that I'm not ruling out are The Bear and Hacks.
Never rule out Hacks.
But I mean, doesn't your mind immediately go to Abbott Elementary for this? That's what I'm gonna say, but I say it with hesitation because it seems too obvious.
mean, I feel like
Ashley?
because we're in an ensemble situation, the strongest ensemble is probably Abbott Elementary. Because I think more people sort of knock it out the park in a whole as compared to most of the others, I would say.
Okay.
You know what helps a lot, I imagine, for Abbott Elementary is Abbott Elementary gives me vibes of the early seasons of Cheers.
Interesting.
Because you know how in the early seasons of Cheers, they never left the bar.
No, not at all.
The bar was the whole set for like 3 seasons.
True.
I'm trying to recall a moment in Abbott Elementary where they've left the school. When they're outside of the school, they're coming to school. So that's another case where it's like just being in kind of one location makes it feel like much more of an ensemble.
Sure.
And keep in mind as well, this Abbott Elementary, I guess, would technically count just the first season.
That's what I'm under the impression of.
Yeah. Considering that, like, season 2 is September and still hasn't finished yet because they decided to make it, instead of 13 episodes, they commissioned 22. So it's like an actual full-on...
Oh no.
It's an actual full-on sort of season now.
Oh shit, they're gonna run out. All right, let's enjoy Abbott Elementary while it lasts, while the quality lasts. Oh, damn it, that's really disappointing because they're gonna have to start adding filler episodes, and it's gonna ruin the show's reputation.
Oh, that's interesting though. Looking at the US viewership, season 2, at least at the minute, for the last few episodes, is higher than it was for season 1. So it's actually holding its audience. It's not like dropping off like a cliff.
I mean, I'm really nervous about them expanding to 22 episodes because I just went on a whole tirade recently about how the reason shows are so good right now is because they don't try to fill a whole fucking 22 to 24 episodes. That's how you run out of gas. Be careful, Quinta Brunson and your writing team. Be very careful.
All right, so it's clear that we're on the same page again. Abbott Elementary. Move on.
All right, the drama categories.
Jesus.
Get TV over with,
Sorry,
please.
The first 11 episodes of Abbott Elementary were written by 11 different writers. They've got a pull.
All right, before we get to the nightmare that is ensemble and drama series, which is the next one I have not done yet, because there's 2 very possible choices. Let's start with actress in a drama series.
Okay.
Where we have Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus, Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, Julia Garner for Ozark, Laura Linney for Ozark, and Zendaya for Euphoria. I mean, you could say Zendaya's in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say Garner's in this.
Probably.
But honestly, Jennifer Coolidge stands out in a way to where I just kind of really didn't consider anybody else.
Okay. Ashley.
It's a popularity contest. And Coolidge is always the most popular and gets the most laughs in everything that she's done so far this season. And last season, to be fair. So, yeah. Probably because it's the last time, unless somehow they bring the character back for season whatever they fucking call it. Spain.
I don't know. I think my, like, I can't say respect, but, like, she's come off really, like, I don't want to, yeah, I'll use the term. She's come off, I'm not saying she is, but she come off, at most of her speeches, she's come off a tad bit annoying, and I don't want to see her win at this point, but it's a foregone conclusion. The drunk aunt will win yet again.
Yeah, I think that's a boat you're in by yourself again.
That's fine. I don't care. She comes off acting like a drunk aunt, and sometimes that's funny, and sometimes it's not. Right now, it's not. So, Stifler's mom for the win.
I don't think
And
it
it's like
worked in Shotgun Wedding, but it did in White Lotus, even though it's practically the same character.
I just want to get out of this TV garbage so we can get to movies.
Yeah, what Ashley was referring to also, another reason it feels like I would say she would be likely to win is that thing that she dropped in her Globe speech, where this, where it's like if they want to award her for this, I can't remember. She won a lot for the first season. I can't remember if she won this for the first season or not. Back when it was a miniseries.
Let me check.
But yeah, it's that case. It's that case of awarding her while you can. So
yeah,
I notice I'm dancing around this, even though she blatantly said it in her Globe speech. I just don't want to be the one that gets in trouble for it.
Yeah.
So. No, it's like I said. It's not that I dislike her as a person. I don't know. The personality is not really gelling for me right now.
She lost last year in miniseries to Mayor of Easttown.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Let's move on.
All right, so that kind of solidifies my Coolidge thing then.
Best actor in a drama series.
All right. For actor in a drama series, we have Jonathan Banks for Better Call Saul, Jason Bateman for Ozark, Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, and Adam Scott for Severance. Well, you want to talk about narrative votes. As we've been saying this whole season, 2 of these guys almost died recently.
Accurate.
But, I mean, are we going to do this Odenkirk thing or what?
I feel like it's the time.
I mean,
let's do this Odenkirk thing.
Again, he's never won one.
No, he hasn't. So it's time. It's your last shot. Ashley, what do you got?
Call Saul Goodman.
Of course. The other player on television.
The thing is SAG does such random shit. I could see him losing to like Bateman or something. I think Bateman just won, but I could see it happening again.
Squid Game
He either just won a year ago or he won like a couple years ago, because I remember predicting him.
Squid Game was last year. Bateman was 2020 when Odenkirk was actually nominated. Lost in 2018 to Bateman. Lost in 2017 to Sterling K. Brown. And lost in 2015 to name redacted for House of Cards. I can't think why.
Odenkirk has burned me so many times when it comes to predictions. I feel like this time I finally get my comeuppance.
It's so crazy how recent it feels that Spacey won a SAG. I very vividly remember that happening, and everybody in the room was so happy about it.
Oh yeah, back in the day, you would have been.
The only the only time fucking Odenkirk's won a primetime Emmy was for writing for SNL and the Ben Stiller Show.
Nice.
And he's only got one SAG when Breaking Bad got Ensemble for its finale in 2014. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Do the fucking job.
Speaking of Ensemble, let's go to it.
Okay. We got Better Call Saul, The Crown, Ozark, Severance, and The White Lotus. I've got it down to 2 that I can't decide on. I don't have anything written down. But I could also see these motherfuckers stay in The Crown for no reason.
Yeah, that's usually what they do.
So, yeah, I've got it down to Better Call Saul and The White Lotus, and I genuinely do not know.
Extremely well.
I mean, I was going to say the fun thing is that, it's a completely different ensemble than last time, but since it was a mini-series last time, this is the first time its ensemble's been up. So, but I mean, is Better Call Saul just going to kind of be the thing of this night? I don't know, because if Coolidge wins and the White Lotus wins, it could just as easily be a White Lotus night. It's like it's the same fucking discussion we had last year. Just last year was Squid Game and Succession.
Yep. And that's the same conversation we're gonna have in 2024 too. You know that.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, oh damn it. I'm gonna say the White Lotus because it probably has more, like, when you think about people in the room that have worked with the other people in the room for long periods of time. Well, I don't know. Fucking Better Call Saul has Esposito and Jonathan Banks who have been around for a long time. Well, I just wrote down the White Lotus though, so I can't talk now.
Ashley, what do you got? What did you pick between the two?
AJ, which one did you go with again?
The White Lotus.
I'm sort of umming and ahhing, but considering there's another chance for White Lotus somewhere down the line, and again, Better Call Saul hasn't won.
Well, I mean, also, I don't know what it says about the fact that they chose Haley Lou Richardson to announce the nominees for SAG. I don't know if that's telling or not.
I think it's the power of Ed Begley Jr. That's what'll get him the win. Ed Begley.
So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to go with here. Like Ashley mentioned, there's no more chances left. This is it. Put up or shut up time. Better Call Saul.
All right. Now I just got this little bit of movies going on.
And I don't have to deal with TV again until the Spirit Awards for some random reason.
All right. As I said, everything up to this point, like everything from here on, I have decided except this one.
Oh, we're going there first. Oh, man. Okay. Let's go.
All right. Supporting actress. We have Angela Bassett for Black Panther. We have the Oscar lineup. Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Conner for Banshees, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Hsu. So I've been saying that I'm not buying this Bassett thing being a sweep. Nope. It would just be very odd to me. Very, very small screen time in a Marvel movie. Whether you're a legend or not, that would be a weird win.
I wouldn't call Bassett a legend.
Those scenes are strong. Those two scenes are strong. But I just don't see it. What I see is Carrie Condon. But this whole Jamie Lee Curtis thing is also throwing a lot of wrenches.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but how many people can watch Everything Everywhere All at Once and see Jamie Lee Curtis's performance and Stephanie Hsu's and not say Stephanie Hsu? It's the whole idea of, once again, Jamie Lee Curtis having a legendary status. And her speech would be fantastic, I imagine.
For sure.
Like if it would almost make you want to abuse your power as a voter to say, I just want to hear Jamie Lee Curtis's speech. I'm gonna vote.
That might be a reason why they vote for her. They want to hear the speech.
But Carrie Condon's one of those people that has been like a chameleon amongst many casts and worked with so many people without really breaking out until like this year came along. So where I already said Condon for BAFTA, which it's much easier to see that crowd going for her. But like I said, there was even though the Bassett win would be weird, it suddenly felt like a narrative fell into place when you saw the reaction at the Globes when she won, and then at Critics' Choice when she won again. There was a lot of love in the room for her, and like I said, it was like an instant narrative. Like nobody, I don't think anybody thought she would win the Globe. And then the second she won the Globe, it was like everybody in the room thought, "Wait, we can do that? Like, oh, maybe we should do that." And then now that's just where we are. And it's like, and like I said, I don't think it's for Black Panther or Marvel or even those scenes. It's because of Angela Bassett. Which, like I said, when you say Angela Bassett, you think, what's love got to do with it? And Stella got her groove back. Like I was trying to remember if she's one of the women in Waiting to Exhale. I fucking hate Waiting to Exhale, so I don't really remember clearly who the full cast was. But yeah. So I don't know. But
great. Yeah, yeah, AJ, you did it. It is Waiting to Exhale as well.
Okay. And she was. Is she the mom in? No, she's not.
Oh, she's Aquila and the Bee. I like that movie.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, Olympus Has Fallen.
Boys in the Hood, yes.
AHS. Malcolm X. Vampire Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, not the Vampire in Brooklyn's legendary, but yeah, I can see the legend status. Yeah.
And she obviously had a few seasons in American Horror Story as well.
That's mentioned.
Here and there.
I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. I really don't know. So I guess I'm not saying Stephanie Hsu, unfortunately, and I'm not saying Hong Chow. So we've got 3 left.
Yep.
I mean, it really feels like this Bassett narrative is building, though.
Or it could just die off completely right here.
But that's the thing, is if Bassett is going to lose the Oscar, we've already said Kerry Condon could win BAFTA.
Yeah, we did.
So even if Bassett does win this, if Condon wins BAFTA, Bassett can still lose. And it makes it sound like I want Bassett to lose. That's not really the case. It would be a weird win for that role, for that. Oh, God.
We've set a precedent now that Marvel movies can actually get things nominated for real awards. So now everybody in the GP are going to think their awards could go to a superhero movie because of this.
I mean, so far it's only been Black Panther movies.
I don't know what that has to say about writing, but okay.
Oh, man. So,
well, Heath in The Dark Knight, but that's another story altogether.
Because you could say the Globes voted for her, and they're nobody.
Yeah.
Critics' Choice is nobody.
They followed suit.
But the people that gave that really warm reaction were actors.
Most of which can vote for SAG.
Most of which do. They're actors. That's what SAG is.
No. Some people don't exercise their vote.
Damn it. I'm gonna say Bassett, I think.
Okay.
But she can be derailed by Condon.
All right, Ashley, what do you got?
It's a popularity contest, Angela Bassett.
Well, you know, I said before that I'm going to make some pretty bold decisions. And I think this Bassett thing is dead. I don't think it goes any further. Condon wins BAFTA. You're about to find out who I think is going to win SAG. And then the Oscar goes to who knows at this point. That being said, I've said since the beginning of this podcast that I feel this is going to be a love fest. And it's weird I'm making this comment now because I probably should be making it in a few minutes instead. But I will say that I feel the direction is there, and I feel that there is time for an upset. And if they love the movie that much, to nominate it for as much as they did, and clearly they do, whether right or wrong, I have Jamie Lee Curtis winning SAG. I want to hear the speech too. Darn it. Let's go.
All right. Now that we, just like BAFTA last night, now that we've done the really difficult one, let's take a breather and do something nice and easy.
I wish it wasn't.
All right. So here, Kihi Kwan will be beating Paul Dano for the Fablemans, and Gleason Keoghan for Banshees, and Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse.
Ashley?
Short round.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Kihi Kwan.
That breather lasted a whole long time, didn't it?
So what you're telling me is when we get to the spirits and the Oscars, I've got to drag it out. so you get more of a breather.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, once again, I've made a decision here now. But I mean, there's still a conversation to be had.
Yeah,
I don't really have much to add to what I said yesterday, even though I'm picking somebody else.
Yep.
But for actress, man, remember when this was the lineup?
Dang it. The Armas, get out of there and give Michelle Williams your spot.
All right. We got Cate Blanchett for Tara, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Daniel Deadwyler for Till, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like I said, they really love Viola Davis. I could see them, like, saying fuck it. It'd also be great to get some retribution for Danielle Deadwyler.
Heck yeah, best performance of the year, and I will stick to that.
That would be a fantastic moment, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
but
like, think about the emotion that comes with that role already, and then winning so unexpectedly. That speech will probably be phenomenal.
That's why it's my favorite performance, because things exactly like that.
But obviously, we're looking at Michelle Yeoh or Blanchett. I mean, unless. Do we remember? No, don't smile, Owen. The thing that keeps standing out to me, and I know he's just one person, but I mean, she hit like every nomination, or nearly. Colin Farrell at the Globes, devoting half his speech to just talking about De Armas.
Yeah.
What if De Armas is like a total dark horse?
Well, I'll throw out a real life comparison for you there. My first year of Halloween Horror Nights, it's a short story, I won't say it very long. Show direction pulls us into the theater, and first off, they work us that something happened, something's wrong, we need to talk right now. And then they put over another street for quite a bit, like 15, 20 minutes, saying how great it is and everything like that, just kind of like how the speech was mentioned by Colin Farrell. And then in the end, they're like, oh, by the way, the street was great, it's wonderful, and you guys won Street of the Year. So it's that same concept. De Armas can get put over as much as possible, but at the end of the day, probably going to go to somebody you're expecting.
Well, the main argument's going to be, well, De Armas can't win because Blonde sucks. And
That
yes,
doesn't mean.
yes, blonde does suck. But like we were just saying, Isa Tammy Faye,
Yeah, exactly.
while it's not as hated as blonde, and is not as fucking disgusting and needlessly brutal as blonde and revolting, um, the love for her is obviously here.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like, you can't go against that now. You can't say the love for her is not here.
You got way further than I would imagine her to get.
So there's that. But I was still, like I'm saying, I just want to put it on the table that I think De Armas is a dark horse, but I'm not. I don't know if you can say somebody's a dark horse and not go with them, but it's. But
Yeah,
De Armas is here. De Armas is third, I would say. Who's our other option besides Riceboro? Who's the fifth? Williams. Yeah, De Armas is definitely third.
and the Oscar, yes.
Unless Riceboro has more love than we ever realized.
Or this could make her more hated than we could ever imagine, too.
Well, I don't know, because if people feel sincerely about the performance, she just got a lot more eyes on herself that are going to see this performance. If they have the same reaction that the people who backed her did, that could be
people really wanted to see Viola Davis or Danielle Deadweiler get in, and she got in instead, are going to revolt, and then they're going to put her dead last, and she's not going to do very well when they actually tally up the votes.
Yeah.
It can go either way.
So as far as Blanchett versus Yo, which is where we are, I said Yo for BAFTA, and I was switching it up where I said they were going to, basically Yo and Blanchett would, ping pong back and forth until we get to the end. Okay. It'll be Blanchett, then it'll be Yo, then it'll be Blanchett, then it'll be Yo, and whoever we're on next, it's the Oscar is who gets it. And I've been running on this thing for a while that Yo would be the Oscar winner, and that's how I was trying to build how we did these. But just the more I think about it, and like I said before, I think we just had this conversation yesterday.
Yes.
You could argue the reason McDormand won her third and ultimately fourth was because Nomadland was the picture winner, which Blanchett is not going to have on her side.
No.
But I'm honestly not even thinking about the fact that Nomadland was the picture winner. The fact that they went McDormand again when they could have easily gone with, like, Carey Mulligan.
Yes.
Or even given a second to Viola Davis after she won this for Ma Rainey.
Fair. Speaking of that, we'll get there.
Yeah. When we were talking about, there was so much discussion about, they won't give McDormand her third for Nomadland. They just won't do it. They won't do it that soon. They won't do it because it's her third. And that was leading. She has 3 leading wins. Blanchett so far has a supporting and a leading. So it was even more outrageous. Frances McDormand winning her third was even more outrageous than Blanchett winning her third would be, because all of McDormand's are leading. So it's honestly extremely believable to me that Blanchett could win. It just does not matter that she's already got 2.
Okay.
It really does not matter, especially when, like I said, when you, in retrospect, she's Frances McDormand, of course, she would win as many times as they want her to. Blanchett's the same way. Blanchett's definitely the kind of person that would be a 3-time Oscar winner easily. But like I said, her and Yo can go back and forth till the end, and we'll have no idea what happens. So I said Blanchett here.
Okay. Ashley.
It's a popularity contest. Viola Davis.
God dang it, Ashley. God dang you.
It's a popularity contest. It's
Why do you
not
have to
about
steal
who did the best performance, it's who's the most popular. And every time
What?
Viola Davis is in, she pretty much wins.
Why do you have to steal my thunder? I had all sorts of great promo and everything like that. The reason I was going to pick Viola Davis and everything like that. And I was going to go out on a limb. Me on a limb like I always say every year. And he blows the spot right there.
My only explanation is it's a popularity contest. That's it. You can elaborate on what I said.
It's the weeks of Viola Davis. The EGOT and then the SAG. And we don't know anything about the Oscar race because she's not in it because reasons.
I mean, she could be a SAG. Well, she's already a SAG EGOT.
So that was my original thought process. And that was always going to be my thought process. Deadweiler is my favorite performance of the year. But I can't go with it at SAG, even though I want to. De Armas, just like Josie said, Yo and Blanchett may split the votes, and De Armas may upset. That's what she just brought up a minute ago. Don't think we live in that world either, but you don't know. It's possible. She could win SAG. Tar winning one of the other categories outside of Blanchett. Todd Field winning director, maybe even cinematography, says Josie. And, of course, she also wants to see Odenkirk, Banks, and Esposito working well with Martin McDonagh. And Carrie Condon taking it with the Better Call Saul cast. That being said, yeah, I've been saying this is going to be a night I'm going to hate. This is a result I would love. The one person you would expect to win above everybody else, except the movie itself, is the one that doesn't. What a great narrative. And Viola Davis gets a victory.
You know what's still weird to me?
It probably won't happen, but it's worth a shot.
Maybe I'm alone in this, but Chusa Mbedu, Sheila Adam, and Lashana Lynch all stand out to me in that movie more than Davis does.
You're not wrong, but Viola Davis, just like Jamie Lee Curtis, has got that industry love.
Like
Clearly.
Angela Bassett.
Oh,
Barely in the film, but
Dang
she's
it!
getting all the recognition.
Oh, man, that's how Shoe wins. Because Bassett and Curtis split the vote. God dang it. Let's go to Best Actor. Take this. Well, almost take this home.
All right, once again, we got a two-person race because we have Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Bill Nye for Living, and Adam Sandler for Hustle. Once again, you could make the argument that Farrell's still here, but it really feels like Fraser and Butler have kind of taken off on their own little battle here.
Especially if Farrell wins BAFTA.
Yeah.
Or could just make it a race. Who knows?
But looking at it as Fraser versus Butler, like I said, I've really started dueling with myself yesterday because Butler's definitely made his place here. But honestly, and I keep saying that it's Fraser's last scene that might put him over, but I said Butler has a really big last scene also.
Yeah.
And both of them are like physically demanding. Even though Fraser's sitting most of the time still, there's clearly a physicality going on.
If you sit for one place for a long time, it's still gonna take a toll on you.
Yeah, and it's like it's the emotion factor too. It's almost like Fraser has a harder job because he doesn't move very often. Because Butler gets to be really animated like all the time.
Right.
That's the whole gig, is to be all over the fucking stage and then all the other stuff.
Over the top acting.
And you could say Butler's big scene is the last scene where he's sitting in one place, like Fraser's doing his whole movie. But the factor that I really took into account here that I hadn't been yet was Butler is 10 months younger than me. And he's out there and I'm right here, and but the thing is Butler still considered young? I would think so, because remember, in Hollywood, a young dude and a young woman are two completely different things to Hollywood. Yeah. A young woman in Hollywood is like 16. A young guy in Hollywood is like 35.
Thanks, Leo.
What's that?
God
Thanks,
dang it.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Dang it, Ashley.
Well, DiCaprio is his own beast. It's occurring to me what joke you're making now, and the way I took it at first that I'm responding to is that DiCaprio could be still seen as a young actor by those rules.
Yeah.
I guess
Because
the positive thing for Butler as well is he's only really sort of had the last 3 or 4 years sort of in the.
I'm just blanking. What the hell age even is DiCaprio now?
50.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, he's 48.
Oh.
Okay,
Still
so
dating a
I
9-year-old.
was a decade off in my mind. Okay, at the time DiCaprio was like, you know, when DiCaprio was like at this age, yeah, he could do this because he was his own beast. Once again, he didn't win till he got older, so
Accurate.
yeah, and we've talked about how voting bodies really take to younger actresses in a way they don't take to younger actors.
Right.
Because it's Brody that has the record, right, for youngest best actor winner.
I believe so.
And he would have been in the Austin Butler range,
Something like that.
so and Fraser has this sort of status. They both have a narrative, but Fraser is the thing. What I said before was I've been ever since Critics' Choice. I've been saying I predict Fraser from now on.
Yep.
So like I said, not that Critics' Choice matters, but the way people really got to see him express himself and see his reaction to winning and how much winning means to him, on top of the performance already doing the work. I'm saying Fraser.
Okay. Ashley.
I think I'm gonna go with Fraser as well. Partly because of the sort of popularity contest thing again, but I think it's between them two, with Farrell being a close third, probably, and Nye and Sandler are just here.
Right. Real quick before I give mine, I'm gonna let it simmer a bit. Brian says, and the fact that Blanchett has the most appearances in the Best Picture nominated film, most appearance in a Best Picture nominated film. Wondering if Davis probably threw her 2 SAGs that she won for the help, says Brian. And Josie says there's been some backlash, Butler, with him staying in character and speaking in the Elvis voice.
For actors, I'd almost think that's a plus.
Yeah, it worked for Jim Carrey.
Because Fraser's Howard Stern interview was really good, and they actually talked about that. Where the great thing about Fraser here also, Fraser seems sincere in everything he says.
Completely.
But he also was saying pretty much all of the right things.
Yeah.
Because Stern said, "You know you're going to win the Oscar." And Fraser said, "No, I don't. I really don't know that." And then he said, Stern said, like, but you want to win it, right? And, normally the fake response would be, well, it's a award, it's ultimately meaningless, and it's, it'd be nice. And Fraser said, like, I want it. Like, he didn't seem like he was starving like Redmayne was, but he, honestly said, I want it, of course. And Stern brought up the whole, your competition's Austin Butler, and he's going around still. The way Stern put it was, he's basically going around thinking he's still Elvis. And Fraser defended him and said that's just kind of an actor thing, like it sticks with you, and you don't really want to get rid of it if you get attached to the role enough. But yeah, so Fraser's going to handle the campaigning aspect really well, I think, also. And keep the love that he has and the respect that he has without perturbing anything. I don't think he's capable of perturbing anything.
No. Okay, so I've been saying for a long time this would be Farrell's award to win. I'd said BAFTA, SAG, and the Oscar. Somewhere along the way, Farrell became third when he was leading way long ago in the way before time. For anybody saw The Whale. Obviously, I'm big on Butler's performance. I love Elvis. Movie's great. His performance is great. Getting Rami Malek vibes. Slightly. It's very possible he's going to walk out with the Oscar. Very possible he walks out with SAG. But every time Fraser wins, he has this presence that you believe everything he's saying, and he is genuinely sincere about every bit of emotion that's coming out of his body when he is reacting to winning something that means so much to him. When we talk about the Stern interview, which I had no knowledge of, I mean, that further solidifies that fact. And obviously his peers love him. Public loves him. I mean, my God, Revenge of the Mummy at Universal, like, I have to hear Fraser, like, constantly about the cup of coffee at the very end. There's people that were wearing Fraser shirts the other day. Like, literally, I saw them, like, walking around the park. So, obviously, this is the right answer, and I feel it's the correct answer. Yeah, I'm going to go with Brendan Fraser here.
Not to make you second guess anything, but if I remember correctly, Austin Butler did just come out recently and say that he and Rami Malek had like the same coach, like the same woman.
I'm not surprised. You can tell. You can 100% tell, especially for someone that's musical.
And through this connection, he contacted Rami Malek himself and got advice.
Of course. Josie asks, I wonder if Austin Butler could be nominated next year again for Fayed Rautha. Is that Dune?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
I mean, I wouldn't think so, but I do think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see him
He's
do
also
it.
got that like big Apple TV War series thing, which is apparently Apple's first in-house production with Barry Keoghan.
I saw the first 2 episodes of that already for a focus group.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm not allowed to say anything at all.
Before we continue, Josie said, had a great time chatting with you all tonight. Gonna shower now. Josie, thanks again for throwing your commentary every single week here on the network. Whenever we do a podcast, you're always here. We appreciate you greatly, and hope you have a great rest of your week. And we will see you next week for the BAFTAs on Sunday, and Movie Club on Monday, and the QA on Tuesday.
How long was it between your focus group for Blackbird and when Blackbird came out? If you can remember.
I didn't see Blackbird. I just saw Catherine Called Birdie. If that's what you're thinking of.
Okay. I thought you said you.
I also saw. I saw the.
episodes.
I also did Bad Sisters and something. Actually, quite a few things that still haven't come out yet. But
I did a couple TV pilots for Universal before I started with the company.
Bad Sisters was not long at all. Bad Sisters was like a month, but the others were probably 3 to 4 months.
When? Hang on. Okay. When did you see these episodes of Austin Butler's new thing?
That was probably maybe a month and a half ago.
Okay. It's just because there is no release date for it. Then again, it's Apple. They might just go, it's out in 2 weeks. So.
Or put it as a mystery film at Regal.
No, it's not a film. It's a series.
That doesn't matter.
It's Band of Brothers-esque. I think the pilot's directed by Fukunaga. No Time to Die.
All right. Let's take it home.
Mine didn't have credits attached, so I'm not sure, but...
Well, considering he's the big name that's listed as a director, I'm guessing he's pilot.
All right, one category left to go, and then we are going home, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, get out of here, DiCaprio. Right. That's where I googled his age. I was like, okay, let's see what these are. Oh shit, it's DiCaprio. All right, speaking of DiCaprio, a couple of his buddies are here.
Yeah.
Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, and Women Talking. I think it could be anything except Babylon. And I got it narrowed down to 2.
Same.
Obvious choice is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is what I wrote down, so it's what I'm going with. But I thought really long and hard about going with Women Talking.
Interesting.
Because they tend to go with ones where there's no other nominees. There's nobody individually nominated. A lot of times they'll do one where like only one person gets nominated, like Hidden Figures or Trial of Chicago 7. Or they might go with one that gets a bunch, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Parasite's another one that didn't have any individual nominations. But yeah, I guess that's really all I can say. Is I went with Everything All at Once as it kind of being the future dominator of the season and being a way to be able to award everybody, which they clearly want to do, and throwing James Hong in there as well. But yeah, my second choice would have been Women Talking, honestly.
Okay. Ashley.
Because it's ensemble, I'm probably making a mistake here, and I'm going to say Fabelmans.
I would love you to be right. Especially since clearly they like it, question mark? Well, Danica.
Yeah, I could, like I was saying, I could really see it easily being anything except Babylon.
I know it's not the same because it's the Oscars, but I feel sort of it could be Spotlight-esque in that they acknowledge one performance overall and then actually sort of there's enough momentum and performance from the other people in it that it might push it over like as a best ensemble.
Did they go?
Easily go with Women Talking.
Go ahead, AJ. You were saying something. Did they go?
Did they go Ruffalo and McAdams for Spotlight? I know Oscar did. I can't remember if SAG did.
That was 2015.
Yeah, it would have been 2015 movies, 2016 ceremony.
I don't even see it. Yeah, Spotlight got cast. Rachel McAdams got in for supporting actress. Supporting actor was Tremblay, Shannon, Rylance, Bale, and Elba who won.
Oh, damn.
So Ruffalo didn't make it in.
All right. Now, I want to say Banshees here. But I feel that if there's going to be a Banshees night, it's going to be BAFTA. Never thought about Babylon. Never thought about Women Talking. Thought about the Fabelmans. And I should have realized Ashley was going to go Fabelmans because he went Spielberg for DGA. I'd love that. That'd be great. I'd love to get to miss this point. But thankfully, this is the award show. Most likely, I get to miss. And how appropriate. Everything, everywhere, all at once. You get 3 eye rolls for that one. Because I realized real quick when this started taking off, and I knew I wasn't going to like where the direction this was headed, that it was smart to go smart instead of crazy. And the only time I can honestly say that I doubt myself is Michelle Yeoh. But I don't care. At this point, Viola Davis has a narrative to win, so I'm gonna go with it. But yeah, I think that's her show. So yeah, had fun chatting with everyone tonight. Our live chat was hyped as always. Spencer Reed, Brian, Josie, anyone that's not talking but lurking, thank you for joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. More Ashley content forthcoming. You can follow him on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. AJ content should be dropping sooner rather than later. We'll see. We'll get there. And the floodgate's going to open, so I'm sorry, Twitter followers. But the English will be talked about soon to finish off the series, and Santa Clauses soon in the Halloween Horror Nights sense of soon, as in we don't know exactly when, but sooner than you think, but probably not as soon as it could be. So we'll get there when we get there. Follow me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. And I want to make sure we're not AJ. Okay, well, I thought you were paused for a second. You were just kind of sitting there.
I'm just half dead.
That's fair. I feel your pain. So yeah, fun show tonight. Quick programming note. We're looking at, what is it, 4 o'clock on Sunday for the BAFTAs? Or a little bit after, maybe?
The feed will probably go on until just after then, so I'd say I'll tentatively set it for 4:15.
Okay. Between 4:15 and 4:30, AJ, Ashley, and myself will recap the BAFTAs. And we'll also talk about the DGA. And then Monday, we've got Popcast Movie Club, Ashley's pick of Die Hard with a Vengeance, which I look forward to seeing because I've never seen any of the older Die Hard movies. And that's a shoot. I've only seen the ones that reach theatrical state. I've never seen the original. So this will be fun.
Also, on the guild front, we'll probably mention but not go in depth on these. I've now added the Set Decoration Society because that sort of falls into production design. They're announcing this week. Visual effects are announcing this week. And I think the same day as the DGA's is production design. So
yeah, I didn't put those on my calendar because they're not things that we talk about.
No,
so
but
I didn't have them on there.
There'll be things that will get brought up when I do the previous winners sort of thing. Tale of a tape.
That brings you to next Tuesday, which is going to be another Pop the Question, another QA show for you guys. And then we're recapping SAG on the 26th. At least Ashley and AJ are guaranteed to. We'll see if I join or not. It depends on if the ring is full of honor or not. Or it could be all elite. You never know. The next day, we're going to be predicting the Independent Spirit Awards. And then, again, final day of February, we got a QA show for you guys. So, Spirits are recapped on March 4th. And then our Oscar predictions, March 6th. Time to be announced. Might be later than normal because of me watching All Quiet on the Western Front, because there's only one show at 4:15, and I still got to walk home. And then, of course, the day we all wait for, March 12th, the Oscars. We recap the show, and then on Monday, we'll give you a QA. And then that's all we've got for now. So that's your show. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Stream Real Super Dark. Get it higher on the list. Intellectual Property coming out April 14th. Cannot wait. And in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.